Welcome, my name is Cody Romero. Today we'll be rebuilding a Ruelco MP-4. The particular model number is 1901-2B2S0. First off, we'll use the tools. Have some open-inch wrenches, a 7/16, flathead screwdrivers, various picks, and some O-ring lubricant. You'll already have it inside the panel. First, we'll need to remove the knob using the locking nut. Grab your 7/16 open wrench to loosen it and remove the knob. We'll set it aside for later use. Next, we can remove the lock nut and then the detent assembly. Using a flathead screwdriver, and again, set the screws aside. Next, we'll remove the lock nut that's holding it to your enclosure. Once you break it loose, remove the nut and store it for use later. Once it's on your bench, I find that it's easier to help take the retaining ring out by having the retaining assembly back on with the knob. This will allow you to pull it and pin to release the spring tension inside. Using a flathead screwdriver, remove the retaining ring. Be careful it doesn't fly. Again, we'll set it aside. Now, we'll want to release the tension by pulling. You'll see the detent come out, and then the base can be taken out. Next, we'll take the O-ring. Sometimes you may need a pick, and then the shaft itself. Because we have the knob on, it won't pull through. So we'll retake the knob off and the detent assembly. Now the shaft can be pushed through the body, and you'll notice various O-rings and a spring along the way. We do have an O-ring inside the body to change. I find a 90-degree pick works the best to pop it out and then pull it out. You'll be using a rebuild kit. We'll end up putting this O-ring back in. You can set the body aside, and now we'll rebuild the spool itself. Using the various O-ring picks, get under the O-ring and pull it out of the groove. Be careful not to stretch it too much. And then slide it along . And we'll repeat the process for all the O-rings along the shaft. We'll take the last piston seal off using the same method. Notice the orientation of the seal as shown on the drawing. Using the repair kit, O-rings, we'll reinstall them . Making sure the orientation is correct. Be careful not to overstretch them when reinstalling. Once you have all the O-rings installed on the spool shaft, we're able to put it back in the body. But before that, we'll use some O-ring grease or lubricant You'll notice I'm missing something. Following the drawing, the spring goes on first. Again, for reassembly, I find it easier to use the detent assembly and the knob to hold the spring tension. Reinstall the O-ring. After reinstalling the O-ring, we'll put the base in the correct orientation. Put the retaining ring back. Sometimes a screwdriver may be helpful. Once it's in, you can prove it's in by spinning it and it stays in the slot. Now we're able to release the tension and it's solid again. Mount it inside your enclosure through the face. Using your wrench to tighten it up. Depending upon your orientation in the panel, you may be able to put the detent assembly back in two configurations. Put the knob lock nut and finally the knob. Using your 7/16 open end, secure the lock nut against the knob to keep it from spinning. Thank you. That was a little demonstration on how to rebuild the Ruelco MP-4.